Sezon 2014-15. Utalentowany 19-latek szturmem wchodzi do hegemona słoweńskiej ligi, a więc zespołu NK Maribor. Już po miesiącu trafia do elitarnego grona najlepszych młodych piłkarzy w Europie. Otrzymuje nominację do nagrody Golden Boy, a statuetkę ostatecznie zgarnia Raheem Sterling. Media szaleją na punkcie dobrze rokującego piłkarza, a zainteresowanie potęguje fakt, że mowa o synie legendy słoweńskiego futbolu. Jak zatem potoczyły się losy tego utalentowanego nastolatka? O tym w dzisiejszym programie Godej Chopie. Mateusz Anczak, witam i zapraszam na odcinek z Luką Zahowiciem. Luka, is that true that you don't like doing interviews because when you were younger it was like all the time the same?
Yes, I did a lot when I was younger, so I try to avoid them as much as I can, but I'm aware it's an essential part of our sport, so it's not a problem.
Okay, so I hope that this one will be not that terrible. And as we talked before, 20 minutes maximum plus 5 because I score a goal, yeah. Okay, so did you had an other option as a child than being a footballer?
Yes, of course. I was always very good at school. I enjoyed it a lot, but you know, football is a hobby. I enjoyed playing it. Thankfully, I was able to make a career out of it, and yeah, still some time to go.
I'm asking because, of course, of your father, Zlatko Zahović, 84 times national team in Slovenia, and the football was all around your life, was all around the football as a child. And because of his career, he was playing for Benfica, Vitória Guimarães, Porto, Olympiacos Piraeus. You were moving with him, yeah, as a child. So how was your childhood look like?
It was a happy childhood. It was, of course, you're more football focused because it's everywhere, right? But it was nice. We moved a lot around until I was about 5, 6. Then we stayed for a long time in Lisbon, so I also had a little bit of stability. And when I was 12, we moved to Slovenia. So it was not too bad because once I went to school, I was able to have a lot of years in Lisbon, and then I had a lot of years in Maribor as well. So it was nice.
And in Lisbon, you had one special friend. I mean Felipe Nascimento. You were playing there at age 9, 10, yeah, something like this.
Together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
9, 10. So, do you wondering at that time that you will meet as an adult 3,000 kilometers far away from Lisbon in a city, Zabrze? I guess you didn't know at that time that even exists.
Yeah,
it's a crazy story.
I started Benfica when I was 5, and I think Felipe joined like 2 years later, so about 7, and then we played until we were 12, so around 5 years we were together. And we always had a good friendship because in Benfica a lot of players come and go. It's very competitive, and we were able to, you know, during those 5 years we were able to be there all the time, even when the boys, different boys were changing. So obviously you struck a friendship, and it was a friendship that endured till today.
So you had like a contact all the years.
Yeah, because nowadays it's easier with Instagrams and WhatsApps and so on. It's easier to keep in touch. Obviously, it's not like we didn't speak every day, but you know, especially when someone turns professional, it's even easier to follow them, follow their career and so on. So we followed each other throughout the years. Always wished well to one another, and yeah, it's a happy coincidence that we get to spend time as adults as well.
And that's the reason why I asked Felipe to ask you a question, and he told me, ask Luka, how is possible that he is speaking better Portuguese than your original language?
It's funny because I really didn't want to move. I was 12 when we moved, and it was really hard for me. I really didn't want to go, and I already had established my friends, the football, the school, and everything. And I really wanted to stay connected to Portugal. And you know, it was not easy. For example, I have a sister who's 2 years younger than me, so it's not that big of a difference. But and she speaks Portuguese as well, but she lost the accent. You know, she doesn't feel very comfortable speaking the language. While I kept in touch with all of my friends all the time. We spoke. You know, I continued to read books in Portuguese, watch TV series in Portuguese, whatever.
Like nowadays.
Yeah, but as a child as well, you know, because you try to stay connected to the language, to the culture, and so on. So, of course, and then of course at home we didn't speak it unless we were like at a restaurant and we didn't want people to understand or something.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you don't speak it in a day-to-day.
And there was also a chance for you to play in for a Portugal national team, yeah?
Yeah, when I was younger and I was coming up, there were some talks and so on, but it was always, you know, a lot of pressure for me to choose Slovenia because of my father's history and so on. And I had also played for the younger national teams for Slovenia, so it was always it was never a very realistic option.
Stay for a moment in Lisbon. In Benfica Academy, you play with Bernardo Silva, João Cancelo, Elder Costa, Gonçalo Guedes. So I'm wondering, what was the atmosphere there, being with that players and with, I guess, with this quality in this age, and in that place, is making you feel like you are maybe special, like you are the chosen one?
No, I think what it gives is it makes you very competitive at a very young age. It's a lot of pressure to be there, even as a 10, 11, 12-year-old. As crazy as it sounds, it's not about having fun, it's about competing. And I felt a big difference when I left at 12 because I moved with my parents. And then you go to a different reality, even though, you know, Maribor is a huge club in the Balkan area. It's uncomparable to Benfica. Benfica, you know, every year 80% of the team is changed, you know.
In Benfica, yeah.
Boys come and go, yeah. You learn about competition at a very early age. You learn about winning, about developing, and it really makes it really toughens you up as a young man.
And as you say, in the age of 12 years, you moved to Slovenia. It was your first time, yeah? You was living in Slovenia. You were living in Slovenia like for the stay to there.
Yeah, it was my first time there. Obviously, we went there on holidays during the summer, but other than that,
First
we
time
were
living
always
there.
I was always abroad.
And at the age of 19, there was a season 14-15 when you scored against Sporting in Champions League. You have scored 12 goals and 5 assists in 30 games, nomination for Golden Boy. So at that time, when you were one of the best young players in Europe, did you be convinced that you will have a big career in big clubs, like the best leagues in Europe?
Of course, I think that especially when you're young, there's some arrogance involved, positive arrogance.
You were
I don't mean-
arrogant, you can say it?
Not in the sense where you think you're better than others, just in the sense that you have a lot of self-belief.
Okay.
And I think that stays with you for the rest of your life as well. I was very lucky because I went from the under-18s to the first team, and then you know, you wait for the opportunity, but I was very patient. But when the opportunity came, things went well for me from the first games basically. So I was very lucky. Of course, so when things, you know, when you're 18 and you're playing at the highest level in the world, and you're in the middle of a game and you're like, oh man, I'm playing in Champions League and I can find space for myself in this competition. So football must be easy, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So of course you have you think you're gonna get there.
So can we say like going to Herenveen and playing only 6 games there was a cold shower?
It was, yeah, because at the time we were eliminated from the second round against Astana with Maribor, and back then if you go out of the Champions League in second round, there's no going to the third round like nowadays. It was different, and you know, the club made most of its profits playing European football, and they got a good offer for me, and so I was like, basically, there's not much of a choice there, you know.
Yeah.
You have to go, but it was very funny because we were playing in a diamond back then in Maribor, and you know, with the strikers with 4-4-2, but in a diamond, and strikers are a little bit wider, and I was playing as a right striker, and they thought I was playing as a right winger. I don't know how
So they
It's
buy
a-
you, didn't know exactly your position.
Yeah, I signed a contract in one room. I went to the next room where the coach was waiting for me, and he was asking me, "So Luka, they tell me you're a right winger," and I was like, "No, I've played a striker all my life."
How is possible on that level?
Yeah, it's hard to say. And then we changed the coach after like a few weeks, and the new coach came. He changed to 4-3-3, which is like the classic Dutch system. And he was like a legend of the club, Felipe de Han. And he said, "Yeah, my striker has to be 1.90 m at least." And yeah, that was it was tough back then to accept it, especially after everything had been going so well. But yeah, it's part of the journey. It's you can't do anything. He told me, "Luka, you're a great 9.5." And I said, "Yeah, but we don't play with that position." And he just said like, "Yeah, that's life. So you have to live with it."
But you come back to the Maribor and you were 2 times goal leader of the goal scorer in this league. There was any other chance for a big transfer then?
Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it, but there were
Okay.
some missed opportunities that were, I don't believe, my fault.
Okay.
And then in 2019, when I was in talks to go also somewhere else, I had an injury the whole summer. I had a pretty bad case of her in the hernia, and I was not fit. But you know, I look at all of these situations back, and I think, yeah, it was maybe not the greatest for my career, but you know, you grow as a man, as a human being, and you know, I don't look back at it with anger. I just, you know, it is what it is. I'm here, and I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, good. And it's hard to say that this career not go that way as you expect. If you play 15 times in national team, I think it's a big achievement. Did you follow the Slovenia team during Euro? Have you been proud?
Of course, I was with them until the very end, basically. Unfortunately, I didn't make it into the last squad, but you know, we're all friends. We've been together for a very long time, you know. So I talk with them all the time.
Yeah, is a big thing for Slovenia to go that far in the Euro?
Of course, it was a big thing. They basically had the Euros. They were basically undefeated in the whole Euros.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big achievement. They were winning until the last minute against Serbia. So they could have fought for the first place in the group as well. And yeah, they had a big opportunity to pass Portugal as well, which, you know, is probably one of the top 3 favorites to win the tournament. So it's great. But I think Slovenian teams in general have a history of being competitive, even though they're underdogs. We are underdogs pretty much everywhere we go. I think we have a very competitive spirit. And yeah, even though we know that we're not the favorites, we go to every competition, you know, with the mentality, yeah, we're gonna leave our mark here.
We know something about Slovenia mentality because our captain Eric Janja show it every game week. Did you meet him in 2018 when it was your first call to the national team, or earlier?
We had 6 months together in Maribor.
You were playing there together?
In 2017, if I'm mistaken. But then he went to Pilsen, Victoria Pilsen. So we played for 6 months together. We were doing pretty well, both of us.
Yeah?
Yeah, back then, yeah.
So you came to the Górnik having 2 good friends at the start.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. Obviously, I think the whole dressing room is very nice. It's everyone is very welcoming, but it does make it that much easier when you have, for example, I'm in the room with Felipe right now because Eric is not here, and it just makes it that much easier to, you know, your day-to-day stuff, and then he shows you around, and you know, it's a friendly figure, and it makes it easier.
Yeah. 2 names in Slovenia national team. First one, Josip Ilicic, the best player in Slovenia in the past few years. You think?
Oh, Ilicic, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was very lucky to have been with him in the national team for a few years. He's a great guy. From the time I spent with him, I have nothing but positive words to say. Crazy talent. You know, he'd be sitting in the dressing room not doing anything, and he'd just come out and be the best on the pitch. And yeah, he's a good guy, a great player, and I wish him all the best.
And also he's an example that sometimes fans think being a footballer is a happy life without problems. Like you have money, you are playing football, you are enjoying it, but he's showing that sometimes it's also causing mental problems. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure in football. If you know, it's. I always try to think. I personally try to deviate from it, and say like pressure is when you don't have to eat and so on. But there is a lot of pressure. For me, there's a lot more pressure than, for example, individual sports. People say that, for example, tennis is maybe individual sports in general are maybe harder, but
yeah, but
here
why it's more pressure here?
Because you fight for your position every day with 3-4 teammates of yours who are your friends, but also your competition. Just to get the opportunity to show yourself on the weekend, and then you have to show yourself and so on. So there's a lot of pressure in football. If you wish, obviously, some players interpret it differently than others, but the expectations are always high. You're in a big club like Górnik with a great history. The fans expect results, even though maybe financially you're not in the same sphere as some other clubs. It's not always easy. But in Josip's case, for example, I don't want to speak about it too much because I've had some conversations with him face to face, but I think it's fair for him to speak whenever he'll feel like it, personally. But it's not always easy. It's a great life. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't change it for nothing.
Yeah, I get it.
I love it. It's like I'm in love with the sport. I enjoy every single day I'm on the pitch. I'm grateful for it. Financially, it's also very rewarding if you're able to get to the level. But even if you don't play football, I think you learn to be in like team settings and so on. I think players who have a history of youth football do well in companies and so on, and in like environments where there's team effort. So I think it's the best life I can choose. So I wouldn't change it for anything. But there can be pressure, of course.
Like everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would rather be here than struggling to feed my family or something. Obviously.
Second name, which is really interesting for me, Benjamin Šeško. I read, I guess it was your interview for Weszło, the newspaper, the sports website, when you said like he's looking at a talent from a laboratory, that somebody made him. At his age, when you were a teenager, you think you were bigger talent or than him?
No way, because just genetically he's just take all the talent that he has. Just genetically he's a freak. He's 194. He can sprint 38 kilometers an hour and do that throughout 90 minutes. He'll defend, he'll attack, he'll go deep, and then he has the technical ability of a Spanish midfielder. He can shoot with the left, with the right from 30 meters. He's got the right mentality, as well. He took, I don't know the insides of it, but he took a very brave decision, which you have to respect, to stay another year at least another year in Leipzig as well. So I have nothing but great respect and admiration for him. He's a great kid, so he deserves everything that he gets.
According to those names, Ilicic, Šeško, Silva, Cancelo, who was the best player you ever played with in the same team?
In terms of raw talent, probably.
In terms of the quality on the pitch?
But it's hard to compare because Šeško is at the beginning of his career, But I think in just raw talent, I think Šeško is by far the best.
Bigger than Silva, for example?
In terms, in raw talent, I'm saying.
Yeah.
What will happen throughout the years, nobody knows. Bernardo has all the trophies in the world to show that he's the best. But I'm saying in terms of raw talent, but also Cancelo. I mean, I'm saying in terms of raw talent, it's incredible.
Okay, I get
But
it.
now what they will achieve with that talent, it's a different story. But in just talent, it's hard to beat. I don't think you can find many players in the last 10, 20, 30 years who have the talent that Šeško has.
Okay. At the end, Luka, you said that being in Benfica Lisbon Academy is connected with pressure. We talked something about it. Of course, you had some expectation from your home because of your father's career. I have read that there was a deal that if you come back from school with the not good grade, there was some penalty, yeah, at home. Is that true?
Oh, my parents were very strict with school,
Yeah.
which I think is a good thing.
So you have been learning from the first years that the competitiveness, the desire to win, and my last question is that helpful in life to want to be the best in everything, or it causing some problems?
If it's, it can be both. I think if anybody who has ever achieved anything has that in them, but then it depends how you, what's the right expression I'm looking for? How you hone that will and that desire. Like I said, that's connected with the pressure, right? That's pressure from the outside or pressure that you put on yourself from parents and so on. It can be both things, but I don't think that you can be a professional or let's say you can't be better than the rest if you don't have it in you, like that will to win and that desire and so on.
You still have it, right? It will be to
I'm
want
still
to be
young.
the best.
I'm still young.
Yeah. But
I'll forever think of myself as a youngster.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nothing changes about this, about want to be the best in everything.
No, when you get older and you get kids and so on,
Yeah.
you got other things outside of the pitch that are also very important to you. But once you're playing whatever, ping pong or FIFA or just little games with your friends, that competitive spirit, I don't think it goes away because it's been with you since you were a kid. So it's just part of you.
So this identity of desire to winning is, I think, good for the end. Thank you for your time, and I hope it was less than 25 minutes.
Was it? I'm not sure.
Me too.
But it was fun.
Let's go further.
Okay.
Dziękuję bardzo za Państwa uwagę. To był drugi odcinek programu Godej Chopie, a moim gościem i Państwa gościem był Luka Zahović. Do zobaczenia.
Dzięki, do zobaczenia.